So my name's Rahim. I'm a product manager at ROVI. A lot of you probably haven't heard of ROVI before, but we started life way back in 1954 as a company that you probably have heard of, which is TV Guide. A lot of you probably remember seeing these iconic books on people's coffee tables. Back then, we did information about television in the print, and since then, we've kind of grown and expanded into all kinds of other media information, like movies, music, books, and games. And over those years, we've created a whole lot of data. As of today, we have about 3.6 million TV shows, information about 500,000 movies, 2.9 million music tracks, and music albums and 28 million tracks. So if you're like me, you're probably wondering, like, what does that actually mean? So that actually means it's a whole lot of information about the HOF. So we can tell you, simple stuff like where the actor was born, but we can also tell you if they had a failed singing career in the early 90s. That also means a whole lot of information about movies. We've got the basic stuff like when it was made and who was in it, but we can also tell you interesting things like suggesting similar movies based on genre and mood. So one example of this is something that some of the folks on the ROVI team made, which is kind of a movie finder where it lets you, like, let's say, pick, we'll just pick action. And it lists the movies down here, but you can sort not just by similar movies and genres, but you can also sort by mood. So there's a little mood selector here. So that's one of the cool things that you can do. Let's go back here. And speaking of mood and genre, with 28 million tracks about music, we have genres that run the gamut from Aboriginal rock to Baroque to Chinese pop. One of the interesting things made with that during Music Hack Day over in Boston is an app called Music Bloodline. So one of the pieces of information we have is what bands influenced other bands. So if you could go to the site, and using our API, they created this thing that can tell you, if you type in Red Hot Chili Peppers, who influenced the Red Hot Chili Peppers and who the Red Hot Chili Peppers influenced. So it's kind of clear. We have a lot of data, but today I want to show you how you can make use of that in your own applications. We expose it all through our API, which is available for free to get started with. To do that, we'll just go ahead and go to developer.rovicorp.com, ROVI-corp.com. And at the top right, you can hit register and create an application. Once you do that, you'll get an API key, which will let you get access to a ton of useful stuff. So today I'm going to show you some coding examples of applications you can build using our API. One of the features that we recently added is Twitter data. And so we partnered with Twitter to collect verified accounts of celebrities. And so let's just start coding. So you can get, for example, Conan O'Brien's official Twitter account, or the handle of it. So to get started, since I already have an API key, I created an include file that kind of just has my API keys and some simple wrappers around curl. Our entire API is Rust-based, so you can use it in any language that you like. I'm doing it in PHP today. We're just going to grab it from the get. We'll just make a call to our data API, and we'll pass in the API key, which you can get for free at the developer.rovicorp.com. You'll also need to pass in a signature, which is really just an MD5 hash of your API key, a shared secret, which we provide, and the Unix time. And let's see here. And then we'll just do a simple HTTP call, HTTP get to it. Our data comes back as JSON, so we'll just decode it. And that's it. Now we can just echo it to the screen. so let's look up Flowrida to start with. So you can see, a little bit larger. You can see that it has, here we go, you can grab the official Twitter handle. So I wanted to mention that we work really hard to create and curate our data. So that means that only celebrities that Twitter has verified as having actual accounts show up, which is great if you're building an application where you want to incorporate Twitter data using our API. You can be confident knowing that you're showing the actual celebrity's Twitter stream and not an imposter's. So we'll do another one with Kanye West. Yeah, and is anyone a fan of Kanye West? He's one of my favorite celebrities. No? All right, so you can also use it to easily integrate external services. So for example, we could look up Kanye's clout score very easily. There, that doesn't seem to be working right now, but that's okay. So for today, I wanted to kind of, we'll just ditch the cloud score thing. One of the things I wanted to create for you was an app on stage that would make use of a couple of our APIs. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool if we could show you a customized TV guide that only shows when your favorite celebrity is going to be on TV? So to do that, we'll start by getting the celebrity's Cosmo ID. And Cosmo ID is just the ID in our system of how we address celebrities in television. So we'll do that. Wait for it to upload. There we go. Now we have Kanye's Cosmo ID in our system. And we'll also need to look up TV service providers in a given area so that it's customized to your area. And to do that, we'll just pull down a postal code from the website. We'll give it a nice header. And using the API that call, we can get back the name of the show, or the name of the provider. And the service ID that we can use to look up TV listings. All right, let's get local. Are there any Vegas natives in here? All right. What's the postal code where you live? 89108. Okay. We'll go. And you can see this is a list of all the TV service providers in the 89108 area code, or postal code. This was pulled down using our API. And this would be really useful if you're building like an EPG electronic program guide application for your phone. All right, so now that we have the service providers and Kanye's Cosmo ID, we can create a customized TV guide for Kanye. Pull down the ID, get the service ID of the provider. we'll pull down the name of the show. The name of the channel it's on. And just for kicks, also the channel number of that channel. And of course, what time it's airing. And there we go. Let's go here. We'll pass in Kanye's Cosmo ID. And what TV service provider do you have? Cox. So this one right here. Oh. There we go. Little typo. There we go. So we have the name of every show Kanye is going to be on in the next 2 weeks, along with the channel and the channel number, as well as the date and time of the show. So that's just a quick way of how you can easily integrate ROVI API data into your existing applications. There's been a lot of talks about earlier today about CE devices and apps for CE devices. But your apps really want to go to the next level using media information. So our API is a great way to get started. It's free for non-commercial use. And if you're interested, you can get started by going to developer.rovicorp.com. My name's Rahim. Thanks for sticking with me during lunch. We have some time for questions if you have any. Hello. Hello. Okay, so the question was, is it possible to use the services outside of the US? The answer is, we actually have global TV listings for South America, Japan, so it is possible to use the data outside of the US. We actually create the content ourselves, so we have a team of like 350 people on the East Coast that create the content, so you don't have to provide it yourself, no. What's that? We create it and curate it ourselves. Chances are you've probably come across our data. Do you use Pandora or Spotify or any of those? Streaming music services, they get a lot of their artist and album information from us. So, are you into music at all, or do you know what AMG is? Okay, it's the All Music Guide. That's one of our companies, so yeah. In the back? Right, so the question's on pricing. So it's free for non-commercial development. Once you go commercial, the pricing is highly dependent on your use case and what data you're making use of and whether you're getting that data from the API, which is kind of on a per call basis, or a flat file, which is licensed differently. So unfortunately, there isn't like a fixed price that I can tell you. It's something that you'd work out with one of our sales representatives, and it's highly variable depending on what data you're using and how you're using it. So, yeah. think there was a question up here. Yeah. There's only a limitation on the number of calls you can make per second, which is 5, and the number of calls you can make per day, which is something like either 3,500 or 5,000. If you hit the limit and you need more, you can always email us, and we can talk through it and see if we can up your limit during your evaluation. So, yeah. Any other questions? All right, then. We're good.